fact of the matter, it's a disappointment that we are put in a position where we have to look at relocating for our survival. As an example, our business has been here for 45 years, and we're an anchor in this area. I mean, people use our business as a landmark for giving directions, and it's real disappointment that we have to consider relocating as a result of this project. We don't want to. We want to stay on University Avenue. And our business is exploring legal action, and it puts us in an awkward spot. We're not against development, as long as it's not at our expense. We want to, and we're not talking about profits either. It's not like we are looking for unjust compensation to line our pockets. It's to the contrary. I am just looking to survive, and there is already blood on the streets. I know we've lost a business on Lower Town, rumors and innuendo, and we can't be expected to capitalize ourselves through through this through the headwinds of this project.
What, excuse me. Would a compensation package, would it be based on annual revenue for so many years or months, and then and then in this economy, what's a fair way to approach that?
Well, I think it's going to require a collaborative process, and I think that yes, we will have to take some kind of historical barometer of sales and come up with a formula to help offset the lost revenue. And me personally, my expectations aren't to replace 100% of my potential lost revenue. I'm just looking for some financial support to help us get through the project. I accept the fact that we may not be profitable, and that my income may have negative impact on it. But I want to survive. I want to stay here, and obviously, a compensation plan is going to have to be effective. And we risk losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue over the course of this project, and yet currently the only funds being discussed to be allocated to the business are $10,000 loans, basically that can't be applied for until 6 months after construction starts. That's basically putting a Band-Aid on a crack on the Hoover Dam. It's not going to work. It's not about being negative. It's about being realistic. The reality is when our business loses sales as a result of construction, the only way to solve that problem is with dollars. And so far, a lot of the discussion that the government bodies and nonprofits have been discussing are ways to market ourselves or have better accounting or so forth. And the reality is that as business owners, we know how to operate our business. And it's certainly not unappreciated to get the assistance. We accept the fact that we don't know everything. But the one thing I do know is that we're going to need some replacement for the revenues we're losing, because we have fixed overhead. We have employees to support. We have landlords to pay. We have taxes to pay. All these things are not going to go away as a result of this construction project. So we need to figure out a way to capitalize ourselves through this project.
How much? What's a number you guys are looking at?
Well, we don't know what that number is, and that's part of the problem. Is that over the last couple of years, we've been asking those in charge to come up with an adequate number, but because there has not been a priority on that particular issue, we don't know. We just know that the losses will be massive. So any amount will have to cover some of those losses, so that businesses can stay or relocate. So we really don't know, but it's right now we have $1.5 million. As you heard, that is not nearly enough. In other cities, we know that they have much more for compensation programs. So given the number of businesses on the avenue and the fact that construction will be over 4 years and how much each business will lose, that number could be quite large. But it's not like there is no money out there. I think given the fact that the project is coming under budget, the fact that there is a contingency fund, even though it's not for businesses right now, there are all kinds of possibilities. Again, what Larry and Diane mentioned, we could designate this area maybe a disaster area for so that businesses could access disaster funds.
So, and add to that too is, we've been asking for quite some time for a base study. Let's find out what is generated on a daily, weekly, monthly basis by businesses. And it hasn't even, those grants, those requests for funding to do a baseline study of the businesses on the avenue, that hasn't even gotten funded. So, virtually nothing has been done. It's just that simple. $1.5 million to borrow money 6 months after construction starts, up to $10,000. You're out of business. Why would you borrow money?
Is there a genuine fear of the post-construction with rising property taxes and other cost of development? And I've heard something from the new District 65 representative. I forgot her name, but the about bills that they're doing to defer or to forgive the what would be the change from the present to whatever that growth might be.
Well, again, there is no actions on any of those. I mean, any of those could be a solution. I mean, obviously, people have a fear that property taxes will increase, and they can't afford to pay that. And there's talk of some kind of tax relief program or tax abatement program for properties on University Avenue, but no one's making any move on any of those issues. I mean, you can name a particular issue, and we've discussed it over the last 3 or 4 years. But again, no action on the part of the people who make this decision.
I will say is that as it relates to property taxes, business owners on the avenue face a special assessment as a result of the beautification in the construction project. And one thing that the University Avenue Business Association, I think, was very helpful in convincing the city of St. Paul to not implement those assessments until after the project is complete. Obviously, that's very important to us as business owners to be under financial pressure, and then on top of that, be asked to pay for part of the project before the train even starts rolling. And it's been discussed that we had the potential for economic benefit as a result of this project. But the reality is that if we're not here, we won't be able to participate in the benefit. And also, if we do participate in the benefit, the city will as well, because the property values will increase, the tax base will increase, sales tax revenues will increase. So, that's sort of putting the cart before the horse as the businesses look at it. We need to worry about tomorrow, or the reality is 3 months from now when the streets are torn up. And the elected officials have basically put the onus on the business owners to determine what kind of funding is required. And the reality is that we don't have, as small business people, we don't have the resources or the expertise to do a study to understand what the financial impacts are going to be. We just know that there are going to be negative financial impacts, and we know that we are going to need financial support to survive the construction process.
Who is on your side as far as politicians, legislators go?
Well, I think that is one of the problems. Small businesses don't have a champion at this point on University Avenue, and that is one of the key problems. We don't have anyone standing up for businesses at this point and say, we have to get this done. We have to make sure that we have the resources in place to ensure that businesses survive the next 4 years. We don't have anybody. And I think one of the things that businesses would do from this point forward for the next 3 months is to step up and find that champion, whether it's one of the new leaders of the Republican Party, and we think that's very likely, or it's someone who we talked to over the last 4 years and who just haven't felt that pressure. But, I mean, that's something that we need.
I will say that I do believe that there is support out there. The reality is that none of the elected officials have found the resources, and we can't rely on lip service. Certainly, I think that the businesses have been highly supported, specifically in my area, by Council Member Russ Stark, who I do believe is very supportive of businesses. But the reality, he alone can't come up with the resources to help solve the relocation funding or the business mitigation or survival funding. I know that he's been very actively involved in some of the parking solutions, but one lone councilman isn't going to be enough. We need the support of the governor. We need the support of the mayor. We need the support of the senators and Congress folks. It's really going to be a broader, we're going to need broader support than we're currently receiving.
I think the Metro Council downplayed the idea of parking ramps, but when you see like in Edina and other places, it seems to work for their downtown area. What do you think of some creative processes like that that might help strategically bring back parking that was displaced?
We haven't seen any proposal from the city of St. Paul about parking that would mitigate the losses that businesses will face. I mean, they'll lose 85% of the parking after construction. And all of construction on the street will be lost during construction. Ax-man doesn't have all-street parking besides on the side street on University Avenue. If I'm not mistaken, all University parking will be gone for you, right?
Right. We anticipate not only losing all the parking on University Avenue, but also the discussion is that there's going to be parking restrictions on the adjacent avenues. So, we're looking at a situation where there could be potential permanent parking. So it's not just the loss of the physical spots on University Avenue, but also the risk of loss of side street parking because of restrictions that will be in place, to support the neighborhoods, the residents.
I got a question. I own a business right here, you know me. The attorney here, you represent the university? You say you represent University Avenue
No,
businesses?
There are some individual businesses that are seeking legal advice.
Okay. I'm just wondering, because yeah, you're right. You have no parking. Once it's gone, it's gone. And I don't know how hard it is to get a hold of the mayors and stuff like that to set something up where we, I'm sure they're aware of it, but there's got to be somebody that can do something to, get us the help we need.
Well, that's the reason that we asked the media to participate today. The reality is that we need to get out. Basically, we've tried to collaborate with city officials and nonprofits and so forth, but the reality is that hasn't worked. And in 3 months, the reality is that there's going to be cones on the street. There's going to be a loss of parking, and there is going to be blood on the streets, and that needs to be recognized today.
Yeah, I agree.
If there's no more question at this point, we have people available for one-on-one interview, and so that brings this to an end unless anyone else has any comments. So thanks for being here. Our contact information is on the packets that we've handed out. So any questions, please give us a call or we're available.